Full Contact is the debut full-length album from Kontact, and this band has kind of an interesting story behind it because this fellow from Black Rat, a kind of punkish black speed metal band from Canada, he was in the Swedish speed metal band Mystic with Sven Nilsson from Antichrist, and I think they came up with this idea. But the alien, the fellow, he moved back to Canada and eventually got to work on this project with folks from Traveler, From, and otherwise. And the whole idea is that this is a weird heavy metal band with some other influences. And they do name Manila Road and Master's Hammer, and they even covered a Sacred Blade song, which is very obscure on their first EP. But when we're really getting down to it, they do sound quite a bit like Voivod, and I would say uh, the era of Voivod you probably like most in the late '80s. So we'll get a taste of that here with a song, and I'll tell you why they're actually quite different from that too. So the thing with a band like Voivod and working up towards Angel Rat and their discography is, yes, you could say the vocalist here is certainly tuned to that frequency, and there's a lot of kind of weirding touches to this heavy metal album and a speed metal album that indicate a lot of influence from Voivod overall. And you could say the same thing about Vision Master's debut album from last year in a lot of the same ways. They're both kind of storyteller bands. This is maybe more of a more standard traditional songcraft style of group with a lot more of a focus on leads and bombast and different song types. Uh, so the thing about this is that it isn't quite as much of a metal punk or a speed metal feeling record as it is across, like, there's a lot of traditional heavy metal and rock influences. It's sort of a real blend of strange ideas, and none of these style points really end up mattering outside of just acclimating you to the sound of the band. And once, now that you've heard the vocalist and you've seen it as more of a vehicle as uh, Snake's vocals were in Voivod, is that it's more about getting a very distinct melody across with a distinct voice, and that's how the kind of the first half of the record works itself through, is to write these catchy songs that are about various subjects in a lot of very traditional modes that just share a personality. There's a big personality to this band, and I think that's why I was drawn to it. Is there's a very traditional kitsch to it. There's a traditional heavy rock and speed metal side to it, which is probably going to be a little bit too much for some people. But by the time we get to like Astral Vampire and some of these other songs, if you find early Ghost catchy, there's some pretty catchy songs on here too, which have the same energetic delivery and almost like a sense of humor or a sense of self-awareness to it that is entertaining, but also pretty good music. It's memorable in that sense, and that's what really counts with a band like this, is that they're not selling you on a combination of unique styles or this and that. That's part of it, but it's more that this big weird personality has come together and it's put together a group of songs that are all quite different, all fairly accomplished and convincing in their musical value. And that's not something I've said about a heavy metal record in a while. So that had impressed me. Now, is it the best record you're going to hear all month? That's up to you. I think that I had a strong connection with it because it was so weird up front, and I like that it pings a part of my brain that says this is different. And I think that the audiovisual style of it stands out in an interesting way. And so maybe the lyrics aren't as interesting as they might seem, or maybe it doesn't end up being. There's a couple of songs that just don't hit for me that are quite annoying, but overall, it is a very strong and fairly unique project, and a band that I think will probably continue to keep it weird as they progress beyond this record. I think it's a very strong, well-formed debut, very professional in its recording and performances. There's nothing like janky or broken or busted about the way that this record uh, sells itself. So I think that as long as you can put up with it being a weirdo, there's a lot of cool stuff to find on this record, and it's not too demanding as a full listen. So check that out if that's up to your standards. It comes out on January 19th, and go ahead and check out some of the songs on the site and read the review if you feel like it.